Hello, hello. I'm Justin D. Jenkins, managing editor of the Quintessential Gentleman, and today I'm here with Broadway legend in the making, Myles Frost. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Like I said, super excited to speak with you for our upcoming style issue. Now you're coming off your historic win at this year's Tony Awards. Can you take me back to that moment and how you felt? Because there was a pretty big historic moment in your career and for Broadway itself.
Yes, yes. Like how far should I go back? Um, I'll speak on the moment. I'd never been to the Tonys before. I never watched the Tonys. Broadway within itself was something that was just new to me.
Yeah,
When I came into this, Broadway. I'm sorry, MJ the Musical was my Broadway debut. And being kind of green in this industry, I didn't think that I'd be here.
yeah,
A Tony win later.
yeah,
you know, and thinking back on just the amount of work that I know I've put in, and the work that my cast has put in, and the work that it the level of dedication and
yeah,
passion that it took to even build this type of show.
yeah.
I it's humbling
Right.
when you look back on it, and I'm just so blessed to be a part of history, to be a part of Broadway history, and blessed that this I can call this at 23 now, you know, the starting point of my career. Like this is it's a blessing.
Yeah, now people don't know you play the role of the icon Michael Jackson and MJ the musical. And like we said, like you said you are just came off your Tony win. Can you talk to me about the process of it? Because watching your story, it kind of enhances of why there's power in the process. You have a really interesting story how you got the role and how you stuck with it. Your casting saw your audition on YouTube. You were singing Billie Jean on
Yeah.
YouTube, and you kind of got casted that way. Can you speak to that?
Yes, no, definitely. So it was 2016, I believe. I did a talent show in my high school, and my mom always recorded all of my performances and on her little iPad,
Yeah,
and but she would post them on YouTube, not necessarily for content like how we post things on YouTube now for content, but just as a place to kind of store my videos. And you know, not even thinking about it. I'm a senior in high school now. I mean, a senior in college now, right? This is 2021. And I get a call from my acting coach at the time, Leland Thompson, and he's like, I just started taking acting classes, and he calls me. He says, you were on my heart this morning, and I, just woke up and just decided to type your name on YouTube, and Billie Jean was the Myles Frost doing Billie Jean is the first thing that popped up. And he was like, and it's interesting because I have this opportunity that I think you might be great for.
yeah,
And he's like, but I want to know, like, can you still dance and can you still sing and do all the Michael stuff that you did in the video?
yeah,
But better now since you're older. I'm 21 at this point. And I was like, yeah, of course. I was lying because I hadn't done that since 2016. So but I wasn't gonna tell them that.
right, yeah,
And I was able to get the audition, and I mean, at the time I didn't even know it was Broadway, to be quite honest with you. You know, and I didn't know that I was going for the lead. I thought I was going for an understudy position.
yeah,
So, when it was finally brought to my attention what it was, it was super humbling because I know there's so many people in the world that, are MJ impersonators who I have love for, but that's not the that's not the route I wanted to take with it. So
yeah. It's insane. And again, talking about the power of the process, at a young
mhm.
age, you auditioned for The Voice and you didn't get it.
Yes.
And, something like that will break a lot of people's spirits. They wouldn't continue. What was it that kind of made you say, I'm not giving up and I'm still going to pursue my dreams?
I don't believe in no's. I believe in not yet's.
Yeah,
And I believe that I went as far in that process as I was meant to go, and as however far God intended me to go, I feel like that's as far as I went. And just to let you know how full circle things come or things are. Um, so when I auditioned for The Voice in 2017, I was a senior in high school, and the judges were Adam Levine, Jennifer Hudson, Miley Cyrus, and Blake Sheldon.
yeah,
The last person to give me some words of encouragement was Jennifer Hudson, and she said her last thing was, "Oh, come on back. Just work on the things that you need to work on, and come on back because we'll be here waiting for you." Right? In my mind, I'd already established that I wasn't coming back to The Voice because this wasn't something that I felt like that was enough. I know how TV works now. I know how
Yeah.
I know how that whole process works. I've seen the contracts.
Yeah.
I'm good. Would you believe that the next time I would see Jennifer Hudson is on the red carpet at the Tony Awards with us getting our Tonys together?
Wow. How was that moment?
It's hindsight 2020. It's like, God, I understand why you did.
Yeah.
You realize how strategic, at least for me, you realize how strategic God is when He
Yeah.
does things in your life and plants seeds, and because you never know how things come full circle.
Yeah.
You never know. And just so happened to run into Jennifer Hudson, and I told her about you know that moment of mine, and just her sharing her words of encouragement, and I'm just like, hey, look where we are. She's like, oh my God, I remember. And
Yeah.
it was just a beautiful moment between my mom and her and myself. And that's why you have to, that's why I just said no. No's are not yes.
Yeah.
If God told me no for MJ, then that just means that it wasn't for me, and
Right.
that's cool.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you're not talented. That doesn't mean that you're not gifted. That doesn't mean that you're not capable.
Yeah.
It's just not the particular thing or job or journey that's going to propel you to where God actually wants you to be. And He has something bigger and better for you. I feel like God saw that I was bigger than The Voice, and here I am.
Here you
You
are.
know, and here I am. And I feel like that is not just my story. That's a whole bunch of other people's stories. But it can easily not become your story if you take that as a sign of that you're not good enough, or that you can't do it, or that you're unworthy, or whatever the case is. You have to eliminate all of those thoughts from your mind,
Yeah.
and believe in your abilities and your talents, and believe in your capabilities of who you're going to be.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like it, if you don't feel like you can do it now, believe in your future self.
Yeah.
I mean, at 21, how am I supposed to fathom? Because I played the oldest Michael. For those who don't know, I played the oldest Michael Jackson, who's 33. Going into the Danger Store. I'm 21 when I got the role. How do I know the emotional weight of having to put up your house, or having to do some of the, that's a spoiler, but having to do some of the things that Michael had to do in order to make this work?
Yeah.
I lack experience, so I was nervous about going into it, because I'm like, will I be able to honestly relay this message,
Yeah.
being so young?
And how
Because
did you get
sometimes,
there? How did you get there? Like your mindset, obviously you see that you're led by faith, which is great. And was that just happen in Maryland when you were growing up with your mom and your grandma? Is that
oh
was
yeah,
instilled in you?
I had a praying grandmother, indeed. I sure
Yeah.
did.
Awesome.
Um, and praying mother as well. And that's being rooted in my faith, and being rooted in strong Black women that have been supporting me all my life. I think has played a huge, 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 if not the hugest part of, or the biggest part of, why I am the way that I am, and why I am so positive about things that scare me, or
Yeah.
things that I feel like I may not be able to obtain right now, or things that I may feel like I can't pursue right now. But to answer your question, how I got over it, I stopped thinking about it.
Hmm.
I realized I was thinking too much,
Yeah.
and what you can end up doing is thinking yourself out of a great opportunity, because the longer you think, the more self doubt starts to appear.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what if I can't? Or what are the fans gonna say? What are Michael's fans gonna say? What is his family gonna think about me? Because the way I was feeling is, I don't want to be seen. And like I said, I have love for all the impersonators, MJ impersonators, because they work very, very hard.
Yeah.
But I knew that that wasn't the approach that I wanted to take with this particular project. So I was like, okay, well, how do I do that? How do I do this job? How do I, present what I'm supposed to present as an artist without coming across to people as an impersonator? How do I make them leave feeling the essence and the presence of Mike and not feeling like, oh, that was a great imitation.
Yeah. So
At
definitely.
that particular point, you realize it becomes bigger than yourself. And
Mm,
then you start to put self-doubt aside because that's it's kind of being selfish, at least to me.
yeah.
I feel like the fact that I'm thinking about me so much means that I'm thinking less about the people that I'm actually about to do this for. So let me reshift my focus.
Yeah. What is it? The
And I
grand.
stop doubting myself.
Yeah, that's a great mindset to have. And it's interesting because, coming from our community to share your artistic expressions. And I see that, in high school, you did stage plays. What were those moments when you were going to, your family or your grandmom and your mom and was saying you kind of want to do the creative side, which is, still for some reason taboo in our communities, and kind of like Michael, he had his mom, he had Joe, and the siblings to kind of create those spaces for them, but the struggle
Right.
that for people that look like us to say we want to be creative.
No, definitely. I think there I think there's a strong like you said, taboo around black people and being creative.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like there's more laughs now when people say, I want to be a rapper, than people actually saying, oh, well, I think you can really do that. Or I believe in your ability to do that. Or yes, that's a way you can make it in this world. But it's like we automatically say, oh no, you need a plan B. You need a
Yeah.
plan B.
Yep.
I didn't have a plan B,
Yeah.
but what I was smart about it. So what I mean by that is before MJ, when I was in college, I was majoring in audio engineering because I wanted to be an artist. I didn't major in audio engineering as in plan B, but what I did was I majored in something that while it was safe, it would also benefit me in my plan A.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
yes, I want to be an artist, but I want to be an artist that doesn't just know one side of the booth. I want to know about the soundboards. I want to know how the equipment works. So if I'm hearing something that's not right, I can say, hey, can you turn the reverb down, turn the delay, whatever lingo I need to use
Yeah.
to get my point across. I want to be able to articulate that.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a plan B, but it's an aid to my plan A.
Yeah. It
Or
enhances the plan A.
it's the answer exactly. So, but I think we've created this plan A, plan B type of mentality that we forget that we can have a strong, super strong plan A and enhance it with something else.
Yeah.
We keep trying to separate instead of building on on the foundation of what we have and what our passion is,
Yeah.
because then we get more and more far removed from our passion. At least that's what I feel like, because then your plan B seems more financially stable, so then you start, you live off your plan B up until you're 50, 54, 55, almost 60,
Yeah.
and you're like, you know what, I think it's time for me to follow my passion.
Yeah.
But you've spent all of that time trying to be stable, which is not a bad thing, but you get to a point of you're not fulfilled in here,
Hmm.
and no amount of money in the world can help fulfill. It can make a cushion for it, but it's not
Yeah.
going to help fulfill that.
I feel it. Yeah.
I don't do what I do on stage for the Tony. I don't do what I do on stage for the money. It's nice, it helps me provide for my family, but I do this for the art and I do this for the people. And that's what I say to any artist. The art is not yours. Art
Yeah.
is theirs. As a performer, I don't I do the art to express myself, yes, but I'm expressing myself for somebody else's fulfillment,
Yeah.
because that's the sacrifice that the artist makes. Just like a sacrifice that I make is that I'll never ever be able to see myself live. Beyonce will never ever be able to see herself live. Michael was never able to see himself live. That's what being a great. That's the sacrifice of being a great artist. And I'm not saying I am a great artist, but on my journey to becoming one, because I feel like there's always work to do.
Yeah.
I that is something that I accept and I'm okay with. And that just goes to one of the things of just not, being a selfish artist and just thinking about the people and thinking about doing things that are bigger than yourself, because then you'll bring the best out of yourself.
Yeah, I love that philosophy, especially when it comes to art and creativity. And even speaking to you now, and I feel like this sense of community of people that lift you up. So, in
Yeah.
my research, I see like your social media, and it's like you have built a great support system, particularly your family. And I'm really close to my family as well. Can you just talk to me like how much it meant to kind of have your family help you reach this success?
I wouldn't be here without my family.
Yeah.
my mother and my grandmother have made so many sacrifices, for me to be here. It's hard to really even put in words. Like I owe everything that I am to them.
Yeah.
Aside from God, but I really owe everything I am to them, and where I am is because of them and the sacrifices that they've made, and not only the sacrifices, because our community love talking about, oh, we sacrifice for everything,
Yeah.
but the support along with the sacrifice,
Yes.
because you can sacrifice something for somebody, but then dangle it over their heads and be like, "Well, I did all this. I sacrificed," and make them feel bad about it.
Yes.
But that's not unconditional love.
Yeah.
You know, unconditional love is when the sacrifice is followed by support,
Hmm.
and not just for the sake of sacrificing just to say you sacrificed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what my
Definitely.
mom and my grandmother have done for me. Like, my grandmother is my number one fan. Outside of all the things that she sacrificed, she is my number one fan. She's calling me, "Is there anything new?" Because she want to
Yeah.
tell the word about it.
Yeah.
And it makes me excited. It gets me excited. That's why I encourage all parents to not dim the creative light of your child. If your child is, cutting, pieces of paper and trying to make things, and like, "Oh, mommy, look," or
Yeah.
"Daddy, look," like, curate that,
Hmm.
protect that,
Yeah.
because in the world that we live in, it doesn't support that.
Yep.
Which is why we have to create spaces, like you said, we have to create spaces for that, because the world is not a space for that.
Yeah.
The world doesn't provide, the world by itself, makes an effort to diminish that, especially for people of color, especially for black men
Definitely.
and black women.
Definitely.
you know
Yeah.
so it's super. I cannot stress enough how important it is for us in our own communities to help create spaces,
Yeah.
genuine spaces, not to post on social media, not just for the sake of that, but genuine spaces where kids can, you know express themselves creatively, whether it's through rap, and not judge on how they do that.
I agree.
If it's rap, if they want to be a rapper, encourage them to give them a standard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, so, like, you trying to be better than Jay-Z? Yeah, I'm trying to be better than Jay-Z. Then do that.
Yep.
Set that standard. Oh, you want to be an artist? Okay, well, let me tell you about Basquiat,
Yeah.
right? Let me tell you about people that look like us, that have achieved greatness. You want to be an actor? Well, let me tell you about Chadwick Boseman. Let me tell you how he did XYZ and how he played all of these iconic, like, there's so many there's so much history,
Yeah.
and there's so much joy that I feel like is squashed and squandered because somebody may not understand, or somebody may not, get the vision or get the point.
Yeah.
It's not for you to get the point. It's to create a space for the person or the child to be creative and to cultivate that. You don't
Yeah.
have to understand. Just think about Michael. There's only a handful of people on this planet still living today who can say, I understood Michael.
Right.
So just imagine when he was younger, when Joe was like, "Why are you doing X, Y, Z? Why are you so different from?"
Hmm.
It's because he had such an immaculate gift, such a gift that was. I mean, we see what it is, today. Like, and it gets me excited talking about it, is because it just shows the importance of cultivating that. And
Yeah.
just because you don't understand it, people don't understand Mike, but what they do know is its impact on music and on the world.
No denying. Can't deny
And there's
Michael
no
Jackson. No denying that. But not only was Michael Jackson, he transcended music, but also his style on stage, his performances, from his dance style to his fashion. How has he influenced your style as Miles the entertainer?
Oh yeah, Mike is definitely a trailblazer, and I take after him and use him as a template for a lot of, different aspects of my career.
Yeah.
Definitely, obviously, musical and entertainment wise, but fashion as well. Michael made a statement whenever and wherever.
Yeah.
He, excuse me, he didn't want to look like anybody else. He didn't want to, come to an award show dressed like anybody else.
Yeah.
he wanted to make sure that when Michael Jackson walked on that stage, everybody said that's Michael Jackson. And if it's any doubt in their mind that it's Michael Jackson, I can see that what he's wearing. Oh, that's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I can see that. Oh, that's Michael Jackson. And he made every thing, everything about him is what was a statement. And I want to apply that to myself and kind of carry that. That's why I've been, very strategic and very intentional about my fashion statements, whether it's like the Tonys and
Yeah.
just wearing things that I feel like make a statement, but also give a hint of Michael, but really show who Myles is as well. So I've
Yeah.
just been blessed to be in the space to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. Definitely saying, yeah, you crushed at the Tonys, the all black. I saw it was cool, cool. But
Thank you.
you have a lot going on. Like you said, I mean, your debut Broadway performance, you won a Tony, you just signed with UTA. There's a lot
Yeah.
of pressure. Are you giving yourself space to fail? Because right now, you're on your winning streak. How are you allowing yourself to like not let the pressure get to you and understand that it's okay for failures to happen throughout my career?
I'm Myles Frost and nobody else.
Yeah.
You know, People, have tried to hold me to Mike standards, and if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But I know in my heart, I'm not Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So what I provide on stage is the best of what Myles Frost can do. What I provide in an interview is the most articulate Myles Frost can be. I don't like I'm not talking to you like how I think Mike would talk to you right
Yeah.
now. And I mean I'm not perfect, but imperfection is art.
Yeah.
That's what art is. When you make an accident, like if you playing jazz, right? And you're playing a jazz solo on piano and you hit a wrong note. It's not a wrong note until you let everybody know it's a wrong note.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I carry myself.
Yeah.
That's how I carry myself in my career. It's like, yes, some slip ups are more obvious than others, but as long as I keep my composure and I know who I am and I know where I'm trying to go,
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
All the slip ups and all the mistakes are the things that you're gonna look back in hindsight and laugh about. Hopefully.
Definitely. No,
I
yeah.
don't I don't
And you are young. You just celebrated a birthday, I believe, with July 21st. So Team
Yes.
Cancer, Team Cancer. I'm the week prior. I'm the week
Oh
prior.
yeah.
Yeah, right. You are
Come
so
on
young,
now.
right? So what do you tell yourself to make sure you're keeping your mental health a priority? Because I mean, you're young, and the conversation around mental health, especially around Black men, is newer. So
Mhm.
but it's more so when people in their 30s maybe be talking about it. So what are young kids your age kind of talking about or paying attention to make sure that they're making sure that they're keeping mental health priority?
So definitely. Just to be transparent, I didn't know much about depression or suicide until I went to high school.
Yeah.
Uh, I went to a predominantly white high school, but I had grown up in predominantly black institutions. So, you know, and so when I got to high school, it was a huge culture shock because I'm like, depression, like, what are they talking about? Suicide,
Yeah.
why would you want to do that? But the more I was immersed in that culture, the more I learned. And the more I learned about the importance of it. And, I was able to express myself to my mother in a way that I knew she didn't understand at first.
Yeah.
Because my mom, and it's not her fault. It's just how she grew up as well. That it just wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
So when I bring it up as a kid, it's kind of like mama was like, "Where do you get that from?"
Yeah.
Instead of saying, "Hey, let's talk about it."
Right.
It's put as a negative connotation. There's always a negative connotation behind it when really a conversation just needs to be had
Yeah.
in a moment of teaching, in a lesson, a teachable moment needs to happen there.
Definitely.
And I think at being 23 now and being able to see the importance on a much different scale, the importance always being busy. You think, oh, that equals more money.
Yeah.
Granted, however, you being in the wrong mental space that can be more harmful than a blessing because your mental's not right.
Definitely.
So what I do is I've been learning how to set boundaries, for myself, for my team.
Yeah.
And setting boundaries also includes making time for the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Because everybody's gonna want to pull you, everybody's gonna want a piece of your time. Everybody's gonna want something
Yeah.
to a certain extent. But then the question becomes, when do you get time for yourself?
Yep.
But that's not the question. The question is, where do you set the boundaries? Because getting time for yourself can be like, I just need a day, I just need a break. And if that's all you mentally think about, that's all you're gonna, have the will to produce. Then you'll get that one day, and then everything will kind of fall back in like how it was.
Yep.
So what I've learned to do is I can't do that. I need to set boundaries because I have more people than just myself that I want to cater my time to. I want to cater time to talk to my mother, my little sister, my significant other, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that time is allotted consistently for that.
Definitely.
And just developing, kind of core values for yourself and things of that nature, just to
Yeah.
keep you stable, to keep you, things to reference.
Right. No, that's awesome. It's
Things.
really great to hear that. Big, component of mental health. So that's great. And before I let you go, so what can we expect next from, Myles Frost?
Well, I do have some music coming out. Like I
Awesome.
said, I'm an artist. So I do have some music coming out very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely looking to get into some film work and things of that nature. I'm still at MJ the musical,
Yeah.
But as far as future stuff, I
Right.
am looking to get deeper into film.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
feel I use Chadwick as my template, Chadwick Boseman as my template,
Yeah.
as far as the film industry goes. So that's something that I want to pursue in that avenue.
Yeah, well, we will definitely look forward to seeing that because I know you have an amazing future ahead. I'm so happy and excited I spoke with you. I was keeping my composure the whole time because the closest I'll ever get to Michael Jackson, but I literally have Michael Jackson posters in my room still to this day.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, love it. There you go. Right. See, yours is more like clean cut, but yeah. So, and I just thought about it when I was looking. I said, "Oh wait, I still got these Michael Jackson posters." So, this was
uh,
great. I honored to speak with you. Congratulations, and hope to see you soon in the future. And anytime you need, the quintessential gentleman, just give us a shout out.
I sure will. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Take care. Enjoy the rest of your birthday celebrations if you're still out there and doing
Oh
your
yeah, oh yeah. Look, we
thing.
celebrate to the end, to the
Awesome.
next.
Awesome. Take care, Miles. Thanks again.